Hey guys, Ryan here, and this is our PLC for this week. I wanted to stop, kind of pause, and a little trip down memory lane. What have we done this year? Why are we doing this? And what's our goal? And maybe what's left? So, this first screen, we're to focus on implementing literacy strategies. Here's our goal for the year. I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. Science teachers will implement various literacy strategies to elevate their teaching as well as student learning. They'll share their efforts to incorporate literacy strategies with other science teachers in the spirit of professional development and improvement. Our indicators: attempt new strategies and reflect, share literacy strategies and reflect, incorporate literacy teaching into current lessons, collect and display student work, and ask for and organize student feedback. So our goal for the year. Now, almost all of us have presented or shared out literacy strategies. Technically, I haven't gone yet. I did some things at the beginning of the year, but most of us have. So here's our little trip down memory lane. Charlie was the first. He shared his exit and flip statements. You might remember those little squares of paper that he uses so effectively to kind of see how students are doing, to get them writing, and to get feedback from them in terms of how a lesson went or how it's going. So Charlie went first. Kayla shared what I'm going to call kind of a reading strategy based on her inquiry cycle, a guided reading, and most importantly, it was an annotated reading where they used symbols to indicate whether or not they understood the word, didn't understand it, what they already knew, and what they thought was cool. So, reading strategy. Clark showed something that really he and Scott were working on. They had some help from Jess Lifeit and Amy Montague. I'm going to go ahead and say it was a writing strategy based on an assessment that they were doing. I remember he was sharing the writing pieces that he got. Kind of felt a little overwhelmed by how he was going to grade all that. But he also used, I'm going to call a boxed form, if you will. That was kind of a guided way to write it that Michael Schneider said was really cool, and maybe he could consider giving that to all of his kids. So Clark shared a writing strategy. Chris Yarian, I remember he was something to do with his evolution unit. I'm going to go ahead and call it chunked writing, but essentially it was a form that he got from Just Lifeit that had boxes on it that said, what are you thinking now? What's some evidence and reasoning from the unit? And at the end it said, what's your conclusion now? So it was kind of like a guided writing, if you will, and reasoning share out that Chris did. Jenny shared some things from her classes. Mostly I remember AP Environmental, though that wasn't the only thing. A lot of writing strategies, and I seem to remember a journal that she passed around that I thought was kind of neat, that had all kinds of writing and a lot of articles that they were reading also, but kind of writing about. So more of a reading and writing strategies, though I didn't put the word reading on her slide. Chris Nichols, I remember the light lab, and what I think was supposed to be kind of a reasoning strategy, but for me what really stuck was the writing aspect when she talked about the students writing up these procedures where they had to really reflect on the lab and the principles behind it. So Chris's lab, light lab, and I remember more of a writing strategy from that one. Jonathan walked us through basically a reading strategy that was heavy on annotation, summarizing, looking things up. He gave us a paragraph that Chris Cooper gave him, and I just remember it was kind of walked us through, and by the time we were done, or if we were to go through it sincerely, I feel like we really had a clue what we were doing there. So I think a reading strategy from Jonathan. Roger, I put reading strategies on this one. I remember problem construction. He had a problem up on the board where students have to really work to take the data and the numbers, the percentages, if you will, out of the problem and kind of work through it. He also talked about textbook reading, kind of giving the kids a focus before they go into the reading. So I guess that would be called like a pre-reading strategy. But he also talked about how he lectures based on the reading rather than just about the reading. So the kids really have to do the reading to understand where they're going from there. Okay, guys, we've been working hard. I think I just reviewed our share-outs for the year, but two people have also given Ignite talks throughout the year, and I think we're doing a pretty good job sticking to our goal, but it's probably pretty healthy at this time to kind of just pause, refocus, remind ourselves what we're all about in the content PLCs. Want to also remind you that all this is organized on our PLC website. There's the ugly URL. It's also shared in your Google Sites. I'm going to go ahead and hit a few buttons and bring this up real quick. Okay. All right, this is our Science PLC, the homepage. You see it's pretty boring. It just has all the files from all of our meetings by date. There's some Ignite talks right there. These are all of our meetings. We've met a lot, okay? And at the bottom, those of you that have done your shareouts and have sent me the documents from your shareouts, I've added them here, but also to the specific week that you shared out. If you haven't sent them and you have them, go ahead and I'll add them. I also want to point out the tabs at the very top. Calendars has our PLC calendar and our school calendar. Timeline, you may have seen that. That's who's going next, what are we doing. Strategies, I'm going to show you this one, some stories, how to do the share out, how to do Ignite Talk, and how to do a roundtable. But I'm going to go ahead and click on strategies real quick because I don't know if I shared this with you guys. This is a resource that Michael Schneider shared, and it's a little overwhelming at first, but if I scroll down, I can see about 50 billion literacy strategies here, starting with number 1, admit slips, and it just keeps going and going and going if you wanted some ideas that you could possibly use in your teaching. Okay, so our website, you guys, has all kinds of information, but really it started as a way to just kind of catalog and organize our efforts this year to focus on literacy in science. Okay, thank you very much. Talk to you later. Bye.